Welcome to Dorman High School, the home of the Cavaliers. My name is David Allen Burnett, and I have had the privilege of conducting my student teaching here on this beautiful campus for the past 9 weeks. I teach 10th, 11th, and 12th graders government and economics with one of my cooperating teachers, Coach Marcus Black. I teach 11th graders U.S. history with my other cooperating teacher, Miss Judy Anderson. At this school, we all work to provide a safe, pleasant, and well-equipped environment for student learning to take place. When I arrived every day, I walked to my classroom in the newly opened College, Career, and Fine Arts Center. On my way inside, I always noticed some of Dorman's most significant values engraved on the ground: honesty, wisdom, integrity, hope, tradition, and so on. And I remember that these are the values I am expected to promote and uphold as I go about my day on this campus. At the start of the term, Coach Black and I made a point to prepare the students for the high expectations we would have for them throughout the year. Our primary expectations to support student learning are as follows. Be punctual to class. Every day, either Coach Black or I will take attendance and mark tardies in a ledger. Students who are more than 5 minutes late will be dealt with at an administrative level. Participate in class and group projects. Students are encouraged to ask questions, and participation is often a factor in the grades they receive. Always be respectful and courteous to peers and teachers. We expect students to listen carefully to us and to one another, and to raise their hands before speaking so as to avoid any interruptions. Whenever I have to correct a student, I am careful to do it in a way that does not embarrass them, but rather encourages them to continue making an effort in class. The best way we can teach respect to students is to model it for them. Always come fully prepared to class. I regularly remind students to bring their books, as they are expected to have them daily. We also make a point to grade all the homework that we ask students to complete so that they know they will always receive credit for doing the work and coming prepared. We support students trying to take responsibility for whether or not they meet these expectations by making sure they know that they can come to us with any difficulties or questions they have. When we work with individuals to help them succeed, they learn to recognize their own potential and develop strategies for taking charge of their own learning. As a student teacher, my primary instruction method is lecture, and I usually give students a visual aid during these times in the form of either a PowerPoint or video illustration on the Promethean board. In Miss Anderson's class, the students expressed concern at one point about their ability to contribute to class discussion while taking notes. So, I have started making fill-in-the-blank handouts for them to use. This gives them the ability to follow the lecture and take down key points, while still having time to share their thoughts and questions. Since the change, I have seen a significant increase in class discussion, which has been great. I also try to engage all of my students with a variety of in-class activities. They've worked on completing a South Carolina executive branch scavenger hunt, designing their own inventions, planning presidential campaigns, rewriting the Gettysburg Address, and researching the lives of Civil War soldiers. At one point in Coach Black's class, I had the students draft their own bills. The students particularly enjoyed this activity. They were instructed to think of an issue that they would like to see change in South Carolina and write a bill that would later be voted on by student committees and then a student congress formed later. The students were given access to laptops and their phones in order to research ideas or specific details for their bills. Students learned a great deal about the process involved in creating a bill, as well as how to research laws and current issues in South Carolina. There were several cool ideas that came from this activity, and my personal favorite was this one, in which a student proposes for electric wheelchairs to become road legal, provided they are tuned up to adhere to speed and safety regulations. As you could probably guess, though, a fair amount of the bills are related to the legalization of marijuana, which is certainly a popular topic in all of my classes. I use the unit guides given to me by Coach Black and Miss Anderson to determine what content to cover each day. In Coach Black's class, the unit guide follows the textbook fairly closely. In Miss Anderson's class, it follows an end-of-course workbook. These guides organize the content in a way that makes sense to the students, introducing first a foundation of knowledge, and then building upon that foundation as it goes on. Because the content I teach tends to build upon itself, I always encourage students to ask questions and share their opinions as we go. I personally prefer classroom discussions where the students are actively engaging in the material, rather than just nodding their heads and swallowing whatever I tell them. This shows me that students are really learning the material and practicing the academic strategies they must have in order to succeed. I try to keep an eye out for struggling students in class, checking frequently for questions and walking through the rows while speaking to make sure that everyone is taking good notes. To support student efforts to learn, I do my best to answer all of their questions, even if it means I have to research something myself after school and bring the answer back to them the following day. Students struggle on written assignments, I do my best to provide constructive feedback along with a grade, so that each student has an opportunity to understand their mistakes and improve for the future. I also encourage some students to meet with me either before or after school, or even during lunch, so that I can offer them additional help in understanding the material and keeping up with the class. My goal is to do whatever it takes to encourage students to learn, whether that means spending more time on challenging material, mixing up the way I teach class one day, or stopping to remind everyone that respectful discussion is essential for learning. My cooperating teachers and I have worked to establish classroom environments in which students will feel safe, welcome, and capable of learning. In order to maintain this kind of environment, it is important that there are very clear expectations for student behavior. I make a point to work with students to help them understand how their actions can affect how well others learn. For example, Dorman has become a proponent of the bring your own device system in recent years. While this has definitely helped to get students more fully engaged in assignments, it has also led to the unfortunate, if not inevitable, problem of students having their cell phones out too much in class. Some of my students will take almost any opportunity they can to shoot a text or snap a selfie, which always receives a quick rebuke from either myself or a cooperating teacher. Coach Black and Miss Anderson have even taught me several ways to spot hidden cell phones. Students who violate cell phone policies are generally just told to put them away, but repeat offenders can be sent to the office for refusing to cooperate with teacher instruction. We always try to minimize the impact of these disturbances on other students so that we can maximize learning time in the classroom. Even when it comes to scheduled distractions like roll call or announcements, the students have come to understand that there is an established routine for these procedures so that no time is wasted because of them. All of the students know that roll will be taken at the beginning of each class and that they are expected to go straight to their seats upon entering the room. In my government and economics classes, the students know they are to remain silent for the morning and closing announcements that take place on a regular basis. By minimizing distractions, quelling disruptive behavior, offering support beyond the classroom, and trying to make every day a safe and engaging experience for all students, my cooperating teachers and I strive to promote daily student learning at Dorman High School. In my time so far at the school, I have received an abundance of helpful feedback from my cooperating teachers and other faculty members. The staff have been overwhelmingly supportive and encouraging towards me, and for that I am extremely grateful. I have learned that a good school environment starts with the faculty, and I am glad that I get to spend another 9 weeks learning and growing as a member of this amazing team.